Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's your brother Joshua back with another quick coffee break and another quick exhortation for the brothers and sisters in the truth. And we winding down, getting close to the Passover, man. About a week out, brothers and sisters are getting prepared, finishing touches, and, still purging out leaven as much as possible. Right? And just because we're close to the time, and just because we are getting to this point to where we're about to go and receive of the Lord's body, man, and partake of the Passover, it doesn't mean that the fight is over with, right? It does not mean that the fight is over, right? Don't sit back and take that deep breath and sigh and think, man, I made it to the week of the Passover, man. I'm here. Look, I'm good. I don't have to fight anymore. Don't do that. You have to remain diligent, focused, and fight to the end. You have to always be on your P's and Q's, on your guard, right? Guarding your mind, your body, and your soul, man, at all times, man, from the spiritual demon, Satan. Right? It's a constant fight every day. And we always got to remain diligent in this truth, man, and continue to purge our sins every day, and keep ourselves girded about with the Spirit of the Most High God. Right? And then when we go into the scriptures to arm ourselves with the power of the Most High, we have to look at these precepts and have to put it in mind as it being you in that position, that the Lord is talking to you when he's doing these things, man, right? When he's speaking, he's teaching throughout the scriptures, he's giving the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He's speaking to you. Just because you reading different accounts of different forefathers or foremothers in the scriptures doesn't mean that it does not apply to you today. So when you reading in the book, you have to continue to keep your mind focused as if the Lord is talking to you, because he is. He's speaking to you in these scriptures. That's why the Lord said this. Let's get this precept real quick. In the book of Romans, right? It's the book of Romans chapter 15 and verse number 4 says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope." Right? So the scriptures, when you're reading the scriptures and you're diving into the knowledge and the accounts of the forefathers, put yourself in the position and know that these things were written aforetime to help you, to guard you, to teach you how to move, how to keep yourself, right? And know that all the ups and downs and the trials and tribulations that our forefathers met along the way on their journeys, we're going to do it so today, right? And we go through similar things, man. And the Lord has given you this passage to show you how to get through these times and combat the spiritual demon Satan in these last days, right? So we're in the time of the Passover, and just because it is the Passover, they call it sifting season. That doesn't mean that this is just the season that Satan is sifting you, right? But this is definitely the season where Satan is and his minions are real heavy on the earth, man, right? To get you away from doing what's righteous and partaking of the body of the Lord, man, right? And the Lord done told you over and over again that Satan, he's everywhere, and he's going to attack you in every way. That's why he said, when you come to serve me, prepare your soul for temptation, man, right? Let's get there real quick. Let's get that in Sirach chapter 2, right? Check this out. This is a beautiful classic right here. It says, this is Sirach chapter 2, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last," right? So whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. So the Lord said, look, when you're going through these temptations, you have to fight and constantly endure through these temptations. Meaning, constantly means it's an ongoing thing, right? It's an ongoing thing. And when the Satan sees that you're coming to serve the Lord, hey, he's going to come at you 2 or 3 times harder than anybody else in the world. Because the natural or the common man that's worldly and living in the world, hey, he doing whatever he wants to. He's totally oblivious of what Satan's work is and what he's set on earth to do, right? Or what he's doing behind scenes, right? The average day-to-day walking man, he's still going out chasing, behind, he's occupied his time in things of the world rather than trying to store up spiritual treasures in heaven, trying to get himself prepared for the marriage of the bridegroom coming, right? A Mashiach Yahushua, right? He's not worried about getting to the scriptures, man, and stacking up that spiritual treasure that's going to allow him to have that salvation in the latter day. So Satan has already got him. Satan is not pressing him like he's pressing a man or a woman that's searching after the Most High, that's seeking diligently for the wisdom to have that stability in the times of trouble, to be able to navigate through those times. Satan's not worried about them. He's worried about you that's diligently searching of Lord, man, for the Lord. Right? Let's get this precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Luke. All right, let's go to Luke chapter 22 verse number 31, and it reads, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat." So desire is a strong thing, man. You strongly wanting that thing, man. The Lord said, look, Satan, he desires to have you, man. Right? It's a certain urge, man, when you desire for something, man. He longs for you. Right? He longs for your soul. He longs for everything you have, man, to take you out of that position for the kingdom. He don't want you there. He don't want to see you there. His job is to take you away from that place, man. Right? He said he desires to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. He said, but I have prayed for thee, that thou faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brother. And that's what we have to do in these last days, when we see brothers falling by the wayside, or slowly backing off, or taking a hand off the plow, things of that nature. We have to have that same desire that Satan has towards our brothers, and desire that they get the kingdom, and seek after them diligently and pray for them, and even for yourself as well, man. You got to have that desire to search the scriptures, man, to find the Lord, to give the Lord your time, to be able to get away from Satan's grasp, man. Right? Because Satan's urge is 100 times more desirous to have you more than what you're putting to work towards the Lord, man. Sometimes, whether you believe it or not, man. Satan is diligent in his work. How much more should you be diligent in your work to seek after the Lord, man? Right? Purging out the leaven. Trying to find every avenue to get mercy from the Lord, that you may be saved in these last days. Right? That's what you should have, that strong desire, because the Lord has spirits out here that are designed to take you away from him. If he sees that you're not really being diligent and spending time with him, supping with him, loving him, he's going to take that spirit away from you. He done told you before, right? If you're cold, if you're cold, be cold. If you're hot, be hot. He'd rather you be either one rather than lukewarm. Because if you're lukewarm, he's going to spew you out of his mouth, right? If you're a coffee drinker, you don't want to wake up in the morning, man, and, make you a fresh pot of coffee, then walk away for a little bit and come back, and now it's room temperature and you ready to drink. No, you want that thing when it's steaming hot, man, right? Or you want to go to Starbucks or whatever it is, man, and get that coffee on ice, man, right? Either or. You don't want that thing room temperature, man. You don't want it lukewarm. That's how the Lord is with us. He don't want that to happen, right? So he has special spirits designed to keep you away from that tree of life if you don't really diligently seek for it, man. If you really don't want it, he'll overthrow you, man. You'll be deceiving your own self, right? So check this out. Let's get another precept real quick. Let's get this other classic, right? Let's go back to Sirach. Right? Let's get Sirach. Let's get chapter 27. I believe that's what I want. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 27 and verse 3. It says, unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house may soon be overthrown, man. So you have to hold yourself diligent in the search of the Lord, man. Or your house can be overthrown with all type of spirits, all type of wickedness, madness, reprobate minds, things of that nature, man. And be utterly cast out in the end back into utter darkness, right? The Lord is going to send angels on the left-hand side, the evil demons, to oppress you, to push you out of that thing because, look, you ain't being real about it, man. You half-stepping. They're created for that. Right? Let's get another precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Genesis, man. All right, check this out. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse number, start at verse 24. It says, let's see. I'm sorry, 24. Yeah, Con. This is account of Adam, right? It says, so he drove out the man and his place. At the east of the Garden of Eden, cherubims, a flaming sword, which turneth every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So when he drove out Adam, man, he placed cherubims right there, man. So you can't easily access that interest to that tree of life, man, that free-flowing knowledge, man, right? He made it hard for you to get back to that because your focus wasn't diligently to do what he said from the get-go, man. Right? So he said, okay, well, guess what? You don't want to do what I said? Then guess what? I'm going to cast you to the side and I'm going to make it hard for you to get back to me. I'm going to make it hard for you to obtain this free water. I'm going to make it hard for you to get this knowledge and this understanding. I'm going to make you walk around as a dead man for a while. Right? And we're not trying to get to that point to where we get cast to the side and be back in utter darkness, man. Right? And be like the rest of these cats running around the Walking Dead, the Valley of Dry Bones, man. Right? When you see them making movies of the Walking Dead and shows and things of that nature, zombies and stuff, man, look, that's a similitude of Jake and Eve out here, man. The Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans who don't truly know who they are. They out here in the Walking Dead. Right? The valley of the shadow of death. The desert full of dry bones, man, where there is no living water, there's no life. You don't want to be cast out in that. Once you got the truth and you were able to taste the gift of that heavenly calling, man. Right? Because you refuse to hold yourself diligent in the fear of the Lord, man. So the Lord will send Satan at you, you know, just to tempt you to see where you at. Right? Just to buffet you, just to beat you down. Satan is out here lurking and he's watching. So to find who he can sift, man. Right? And he was reporting back to the Lord, telling the Lord the things that you're doing and what you're not doing. So the Lord is never out of the loop. His eyes are everywhere. They're 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of man. Right? You can't escape the Lord. Right? Check this out. Let's get this in the book. Right? Job, man. Right? Let's go to Job. Right? Shalakia. Let me get there. This is the book of Job, chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse number 6. It says, now there was a day when the sons of God came and presented themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Right? So contrary to popular belief, what you learn in the church is that Satan is somewhere in hell burning, or he's hanging out and he's the prince of the netherworld and all that. No, Satan is not there, man. Hell is not a real place. Satan is in the third heaven, man. Hey, holding counsel with the rest of the angels, man. Because he's an angel of the Lord, man. And he answers to the Most High. And he does the bidding of the Most High. Right? So it says, now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down it, man. Hey, the Lord said, look, Satan running around to and fro throughout the earth, man, peeping who he can beat down, man. Who he can put his palms on, man, and sift you, pull you out the truth, man. Bring you back into utter darkness. Do all types of weird things to you, man. Satan is seeking and he's lurking everywhere. Every corner you been in your house, in the corner of your house, man, in that dark room, right? When you ride in the car down the highway, he's sitting right next to you, man, in your ear. Satan's everywhere. He's to and fro looking for who he can take out this thing, man. And the Lord has conversations in the heaven and councils with his angels, man, about men on earth. Right? Reading on, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil. Right? So this counsel goes on in the earth, in the third heaven, right, about every man, woman, and child on the earth. What is the Most High saying about you? When he presents you before his angels, his heavenly hosts, what does he say about you? Well, what about so-and-so? Hey, have you thought about them, my servant? Hey, man, upright. He walking upright, man. He fears me, right? He do exactly what I say. Have you considered that brother or that sister? Right? Is the Lord saying that about you? Or is he saying, hey, Satan, what about so-and-so? Man, he lukewarm, man. Dude out there, man, he spend, 20 hours a day binge watching TV, man. He's still smoking blunts. He supposed to, put that away. He dabbling in cigarettes. He's steady talking to, Sasha and Tanika and all them, man. He really ain't about that work, man. Oh, he lukewarm. He only cool on the Sabbath day. He only holy on the Sabbath day when he's before the brothers. Right? Is the Lord saying that about you? Right? Or is he saying, hey, man, that brother is striving to be perfect. He's upright. He fears me. Right? Satan is up there, hey, man, he disputing. He trying to figure out, hey, ways to take you out this thing. Satan has a job to do. And the Lord allows him to do what he has to do, man. Just to test to see where you're going to stand and what you're going to do. Right? Let's get this other precept real quick. This is the book, right, of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And it reads, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour, man. Satan is in the earth going to and fro, seeking whom he may devour. He's trying to devour you like a lion, man. I set up, man, I had posted a video on Facebook the other day of these lioness, man, right? Eating this daggum hog, eating him alive, devouring that thing. That's one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life, man. But that's a metaphor of a reference to what Satan does to non-diligent brothers and sisters in the truth, man. Eats them alive, bit by bit, taking you away slowly from the truth because of your lack of diligence. The Lord said, be sober and be vigilant, always on guard. Because your adversary, man, everybody knows what an adversary is, man. He opposes you. He's against you. Your adversary, the one that accuses you, right? He's seeking whom he's going to devour in these last days. Is that going to be you? Are you going to allow Satan to devour you, man, in these last days? Right? You start slow poking and being slothful, man. Right? And you think that you obtain something and you start seeking your ease. You got your rest. And you think you smooth selling, you cruising now, man. But the Lord said, man, it ain't over. It ain't over until Yahweh shall crack that sky, man, and come get his saints, man. It ain't over. It's a constant fight. Always. Or your eyes starting to get weary, man. Because you understand that you can't physically box Satan, man. You can't charge Satan and bring, hey, man, come to the front yard, man, and throw your hands, man. right? I'm going to go and beat you down real quick and send you back to the third heaven and I'm going to be good. No, you can't do that. You fighting against principalities, man, high spirits and high places, man, spiritual power. How do you fight that? How do you combat the spiritual demon Satan and avoid the trouble? By girding yourself up with these scriptures, man, that you can fight. Like Yahushua did when he was fasting for 40 days and 40 nights and Satan came to buffet him, man. He was in his mind. He was torturing. He was talking to him. Right? He was trying to tempt him. And the Lord said, hey, man, look, I ain't going to eat, man. You telling me to turn these stones into bread, but guess what? The Lord said you can't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Lord, man. This is where you get your nourishments from, your energy, your strength to fight. How you gird up your loins like a man. Put on your armor, right? Let's get a precept. Let's go to Ephesians real quick, right? This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse number 12, and it reads, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might, put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. That's what you fighting against, man. Spiritual wickedness in high places on every level, right? The spiritual world and on the physical realm. The spiritual wickedness all around you. You still in captivity, Jake. You subject under your oppressors. Wicked men that have I can't even think of the word right now. No discretion, no, they don't care about you, you know. I'll say it like that. They don't care about you. Put pork in everything you eat, right? Poison your food, your medicine, your water supply, your air. They don't give two damns about you, Jake, man. You're surrounded by spiritual wickedness everywhere, man. On the physical level and on the spiritual level. And you got to gird up your loins and fight. The Lord said, put on the whole armor of God. It says, verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having on a breastplate of righteousness, man. What's that breastplate of righteousness? The law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man. The Lord said, if you keep on the breastplate of righteousness, man, if you keep my law, statutes, and commandments, man, and do what I say, you will never fear the worst, man. You will never have to worry about none of these things, man. You won't have to fear none of those things. Satan can't hold a candle to you. He can't touch you. Because you have a power with the Most High God. It's in your name, man. Yasha Allah. He Prince Power, man. Power with God. That's what you have. That's what you are. In your name, literally, power, man. You have power to tread over snakes and scorpions, man. To cast out spirits. Right? Or you're going to let him sit down and beat you down. You're going to sit down and allow him to attack you and his demons jump you, man. You're going to give up when you right at the door, when you at the end, the fourth quarter, it's 10 seconds left. Hey, and you give up? Is that going to be you? You going to allow Satan to sift you, man? Come on, Jake. You got to be better than that, man. You got to fight to the end. You can't be looking back in the world and thinking you missing out on something. That you missing out on all the fun. You see everybody on the social medias hanging out in the clubs and kicking and talking about they turned last night. They coming home drunk. Next day, don't know what happened, man. It was a time last night. Oh, man, so-and-so just bought that new thing off the lot, man. They doing it big, man. All them guns they got over there, man. Come on, bro. You can't be like that, man. Right? Check this out. Let me get this. I'm going to get a couple more and I'm going to shut it down. Right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73. Right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73. I'm going to start at verse number... I'm going to start at the top. It says, truly Yahweh is good to Israel, even to such that are of a clean heart. So the Most High is good to those that have a clean heart, man. Right? That's not touching wickedness. The Lord is always going to hold you down, no matter what. Right? And it says, but as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish. For when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. And sometimes, man, your brain, hey, sometimes you be looking back in the world and you kind of peeking back a little bit. You know, and you start getting envious of what's going on in the world. You start seeing what they doing and it look kind of fun. And then your hands start itching. And then your feet start tapping a little bit. Then you start rubbing your hands together and start thinking, dang, I remember when I used to do that. The Lord said, don't be envious of a sinner because you don't know their latter end. Right? You don't know their latter end. You should know. But hey, look, you're not supposed to be dealing with that, man. Right? And it also says, for there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Hey, and that's what you see. You wonder why everybody doing wickedness in the world and being evil and doing whatever they want to do, living their best life. And it seems like nothing's ever happening to them. They living long. They getting away with things they doing behind closed doors. They sneaky. Ain't nobody finding out what they doing. You know, it seems like that. It seems that way. Right? But, hey, look, that's where you find out that, hey, that's not true. Right? Check this out. Let's get another precept on there. This is the book, right, of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse, I'm going to start at verse 11. And it says, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the hearts of the Son of Men are fully set in them to do evil. Just because the judgment didn't come like you wanted to, that next day, your heart is fully set to do evil. These people out in the world, they don't have a thought of, hey, man, the Lord is going to judge me one day. They out here living their best life. Because, hey, the judgment didn't come, right? Just like that, right? So they just constantly doing evil. And it says, though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. And what's that mean to fear the Lord? Do what he say. Keep his commandments, man. That's the beginning of your wisdom. It's to fear him and to know what he can do to you. Right? That's what you're going to do, is fear the Lord, to know what he can do to you. Right? And it says, but it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall it prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh, man. Right? So they're going to surely meet that judgment, man. So you shouldn't be envious of what these sinners are doing. You should have that narrow tunnel vision, man. That lonely road, that narrow road to the kingdom is what you should be looking at in these last days. Purging out that leaven in these last days. The Lord said, remember Lot's wife. That's all he got to say. Remember Lot's wife. If you know the account of Lot's wife, hey, the Lord told Lot to get out of Sodom, man, and don't look back. And what did Lot's wife do? She looked back because she remembered what she had. They had money, they had wealth, they had a position, they had all these things. And she didn't want to leave that. And when she turned around, what happened, man? Boom, destroyed, man. And she's still there, an example, still to this day. The Lord said, remember Lot's wife, man. And don't be looking back into the world, man, and become drunk. Right? Because at an instance, man, you can find yourself back in the world. Right? Let's get one more precept on that, man. And then, right, let's go to Luke real quick. Let's go, I believe it's Luke, right, chapter 21 and verse number, let's see, 21 and verse number 34, and it reads, take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on you, come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth, man. What's a snare? A snare is a trap, right? You don't want to get caught up in that trap of being in the world and being envious of those sinners and going back into the world, right? He says, hey, you got to take heed to yourself. Examine yourself that you're not spending too much time with worldly things, right? You should be spending time getting back in good graces with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, begging for mercy, man, right? That you may be saved, man, right? So we got to remember that, man, in these last days, that we have to keep purging out this leaven. We can't allow Satan to sift us and trick our minds and have us going back to our old ways, or dealing with old friends or family that we shouldn't be around, or, you know, just dabbling into the world, making our time and effort towards something that is not profitable for our salvation, man, in these last days. Right, let me get this last precept and I'm going to close it out. Right, just wanted to come with that quick exhortation. Right, this is the book of Joshua, chapter 24, and verse 15, and it reads, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. But with that, I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Hope it was edifying, and shalom.